모두 진술에 앞서 양해 말씀드립니다. 저는 자폐 스펙트럼 장애를 가지고 있어.
Every K-drama fan has that one year they swear was the golden era, whether it was 2016's timeless lineup, 2019's global breakout hits, or 2022's genre-defying thrill rides. From Netflix chart toppers to Baeksang winners, we're diving into the most legendary K-drama years to finally answer which year was truly the best in K-drama history. Let's break it down. Let's first talk about 2016. And no, we're not exaggerating when we say this. It was the kind of year where it felt like every other week, a new K-drama was dropping that would go on to become someone's all-time favorite. We had back-to-back hits. Not that we are complaining. This was the year casual viewers turned into full-blown K-drama fans. Back when people still said, I don't really watch K-dramas, 2016 said, okay, but have you tried this? And suddenly, everyone was hooked. Let's start with Descendants of the Sun, the drama that was everywhere.
놀면 뭐해요? 얼른 나 저기 별 하나만 따져 봐봐요.
이미 땄죠. 내 옆에 앉았네요.
This wasn't just a K-drama, it was a global event. Airing in early 2016, it became a cultural phenomenon across Asia and beyond. And honestly, it's easy to see why. The plot? Think romance meets disaster movie with a side of military drama. We follow Captain Yoo Si-jin, a charming elite special forces officer who saves lives on the battlefield, and Dr. Kang Mo-yeon, a confident, no-nonsense surgeon who saves lives in the OR. Their love story kicks off with some flirtatious banter in Seoul, but things quickly get complicated. Duty calls, lives are at stake, and the two are reunited in a fictional war-torn country called Urk, where they're both dispatched on a humanitarian mission. What follows is a swoony, high-stakes romance with literal life-or-death moments. Earthquakes, epidemics, hostage situations, you name it. And let's not forget the production. Descendants of the Sun was pre-produced, rare at the time, which meant beautiful cinematography, sweeping overseas landscapes, and seamless storytelling. The OSTs, instant classics. Always, every time, and that guitar intro from You Are My Everything, still stuck in everyone's head. Also, we have to talk about the impact. Dots broke rating records, sold out everything the leads wore, and even boosted tourism to the filming locations. And just when you thought that year's peak, it gave us Goblin. Written by Kim Yoon-suk, yep, the same writer behind Descendants of the Sun.
나는 뭐 능력 없어요? 아저씨는 이것저것 다 하는데 나는 귀신 보는 거 말고 다른 건 없어요? 도깨비 신부인데?
Goblin took fantasy romance to a whole new level. The plot? Sounds wild, but stay with me. It works. We meet Kim Shin, a 939-year-old immortal goblin cursed with eternal life. He's kind, brooding, and walks around in dramatic coats like every moment is a cinematic trailer. The only way he can finally rest in peace is if his destined bride finds him and removes the sword lodged in his chest. Enter Ji Yoon-tak, a high school student who can see ghosts, has the worst luck, and just so happens to be the goblin's bride. From the moment they meet, it's fate, bickering, snowfall, and tears all rolled into one. And let's not forget the Grim Reaper, played by Lee Dong-wook, who delivers dry humor, devastating backstory, and arguably the best bromance K-drama land has ever seen. His scenes with Kim Shin, iconic. The tea sharing, the scarf stealing, the walk in slow-mo in the snow moments, peak television. What made Goblin so good is every episode felt like poetry, and the cinematography. Gorgeous. Foggy forests, golden hour glows, epic wide shots in Quebec. Every frame was desktop wallpaper worthy. And of course, the OSTs were legendary. Stay with me, instantly recognizable from the first two notes. Beautiful, soul-crushing in the best way. The music and storytelling blended together so seamlessly, it made crying almost mandatory. 2016 wasn't just a good year for K-dramas, it was absolute chaos in the best way. This was the year we were staying up all night, crying into our pillows, texting our friends things like, I can't believe that just happened, and binging 6 episodes in a row like it was a full-time job. And yes, Moon Lovers, Scarlet Heart Ryo, and Uncontrollably Fond, yeah, those two had us emotionally wrecked for weeks. They didn't just give us tears, they gave us trauma in the prettiest, most cinematic way possible. But don't worry, 2016 also understood the assignment when it came to healing: weightlifting. Fairy Kim Bok-ju was the serotonin boost we all needed. It gave us friendship, food, first love, and that iconic line, "Do you like Messi?"
혹시 메시 좋아하세요?
네?
메시 좋아하시냐고요?
Legend of the Blue Sea brought the fantasy and the fluff. Another Oh Hey Young made us feel a little too seen. And Love in the Moonlight gave us historical romance with major coming-of-age feels. And if you thought the romance and the tears were enough, think again, because 2016 came in hot with action, thrillers, and medical dramas too. The K2 had Ji Chang-wook doing stunts like it was Mission Impossible, except sexier. W, Two Worlds literally took us in and out of a manhwa universe and had our brains short-circuiting in the best way. And Dr. Romantic, peak drama, peak tension, peak emotion. Every episode felt like life or death, and we loved it. 2016 was one of those years where every genre hit. Whether you were into heart-fluttering rom-coms, soul-crushing melodramas, twisty sci-fi thrillers, or high-stakes medical emergencies, it had everything. The OSTs were iconic, the stars became legends, and the dramas, timeless. And if you need more proof that 2016 was peak K-drama, just look at the lineup. Jealousy Incarnate, Beautiful Gongshim, Please Come Back, Mr., Let's Fight Ghost, Hwarang, Cheese in the Trap, Signal, and The Sound of Your Heart. A mix of rom-coms, thrillers, and pure chaos. This year really had it all. Now don't lock in your answers just yet, because 2019 is coming in strong. This was the year K-dramas stopped playing it safe. They became bolder, more adventurous, and fully embraced genre-blending storytelling. From heart-stopping thrillers to beautifully bizarre romances, 2019 gave us dramas that were daring, emotionally rich, and sometimes totally unhinged in the most irresistible way. Let's start with the drama that pretty much took over the world, Crash Landing on You.
뭐 이런 걸로 갑자기 승부욕을 발휘하고 그러지?
나는 그런 게 아니고 그냥
What happens when a South Korean chaebol heiress accidentally paraglides into North Korea during a freak accident? You get one of the most iconic high-stakes slow-burn romances in K-drama history. Yoon Se-ri, played by Sun Ye-jin, crash lands in the middle of the DMZ, and instead of getting captured or, dying, she's found by Captain Ri Jong-hyuk, a principled North Korean soldier who chooses to protect her. On paper, it sounds absurd, but in execution, absolute perfection. The chemistry between Sun Ye-jin and Hyun-bin was so electric, they didn't just sell us the fantasy. They fell in love in real life and got married. This drama topped Netflix charts globally, drew in a flood of new viewers, and proved just how powerful K-dramas can be when they balance heart, humor, and the impossible. And since we're already talking about unforgettable romances, we have to bring up When the Camellia Blooms, a gem that had us in a tight grip in 2019.
원래가 히어로는 막판이다.
Set in a quiet seaside town, it tells the story of Dong Baek, a single mother who runs a bar named Camellia. She's been judged and gossiped about all her life, until Hwang Yong-sik enters the picture. A loud, earnest, and fiercely loyal police officer, Yong-sik falls for her with a kind of love that's loud, unwavering, and completely free of games. It's a heartwarming blend of romance, slice of life, and even murder mystery. And somehow, it all works. And they were not the only romance during that time. 2019 really said, why settle for one kind of romance when you can have them all? Romance is a Bonus book gave us a cozy, bookish love story with Lee Jong-suk. One Spring Night made us question everything with its quiet, emotionally layered take on love. Touch Your Heart brought back that goblin chemistry in a light, hilarious lawyer meets actress setup. And Melting Me Softly, Ji Chang-wook navigating modern life after being frozen for 20 years. These dramas may have had different vibes. Some were slow burns, some were tropey fun, but they all delivered on the feels. 2019 was truly a buffet of romance, and every flavor was worth a try. But while 2019 gave us all the heart-fluttering romance we could ever ask for, it was also a massive turning point for thrillers, dramas, and action-packed K-dramas. That same year, we got Kingdom, the game-changing zombie saga that put Korean horror on the global map. Set in the Joseon dynasty, it gave us palace politics, class commentary, and full-blown zombie chaos in one beautifully shot, tightly written package. Strangers from Hell also joined the party, delivering psychological horror so intense you'd second-guess moving into any apartment ever again. And then there was Sky Castle, the ultimate social satire disguised as a mahjong thriller. It dissected the cutthroat world of elite education and parental obsession, becoming a pop culture juggernaut that sparked nationwide conversations. Even historical K-dramas were no longer just for niche fans. 2019 proved that sajuks were evolving, faster paced, more accessible, and just as emotionally rich, such as The Tale of Nokdu, The Crowned Clown, Flower Crew, Joseon Marriage Agency, and rookie historian Gu Hai-ryung. So, when we talk about 2019, it was the year that proved K-dramas could be anything. Heartwarming, terrifying, hilarious, rebellious, and even revolutionary. And more importantly, it marked a major shift as K-dramas began dominating global streaming platforms, opening the floodgates to a whole new audience around the world. And if you still need more proof that 2019 was peak K-drama, just check the lineup. Her Private Life, Arthdal Chronicles, Hotel del Luna, Extraordinary You, He is Psychometric, Angel's Last Mission, Love, Hot Stove League, and The Fiery Priest. From fantasy and romance to sports dramas and satirical thrillers, 2019 was stacked with unforgettable hits across every genre. Our last contender, the mighty year of 2022. By this point, K-drama had found its rhythm, its global audience, and, most importantly, its confidence. Whether it was your coworker, your cousin, or your gym instructor, chances are they were either watching a K-drama on Netflix or Disney+, or knew someone who wouldn't shut up about it. And honestly, with good reason. By 2022, K-dramas weren't trying to prove themselves anymore. From hallway whispers to household names, the genre had come a long, long way. But with that global rise came a wave of skepticism. Some critics said K-dramas were becoming too commercial, too international, too formulaic. And yet, 2022 came along and reminded all of us exactly why we fell in love with them in the first place. The lineup alone said it all. First up, Business Proposal. A drama that single-handedly revived the joy of classic K-rom-coms, but made it feel fresh for a 2022 audience.
실은 내가 남자친구랑 온 게
자기야.
It had everything: a fake identity setup, workplace romance, and tropes we've seen before. But executed so well we didn't even care. With its fake identity chaos, lovable second leads, tropey setups done right, and a chaebol male lead who was actually respectful, it reminded us how joyful and genuinely heart-fluttering K-romance can be. It wasn't groundbreaking, but it didn't need to be. It was fun, polished, and smart about its charm. Then came 2521, which felt like flipping through an old diary.
내가 이렇게 만든 건가?
우리 아무도 잘못한 사람 없어. 근데 이만큼 멀어져 있잖아. 그냥 이렇게 된 거야.
Set during the IMF crisis of the late 90s, it gave us a tender, aching portrait of youth, resilience, and first love. Not the kind that always lasts, but the kind that changes you forever. It was nostalgic without being naive, emotional without being manipulative. A coming-of-age drama that felt both deeply personal and universally relatable. Even if you never lived through 1990s Korea, 2521 made you feel it. Every bittersweet memory, every quiet moment of growth, every dream paused but never forgotten. A coming-of-age story that hit harder than anyone expected and stayed with us long after it ended. 2022 was particularly focused on the reality of life. While we'll always have a soft spot for the whimsical journeys and over-the-top tropes that make K-dramas the ultimate guilty pleasure, this year reminded us that the genre can also go deep. Our blues brought us to Jeju Island with an ensemble cast and grounded stories about love, regret, second chances, and family. My liberation notes turned everyday monotony into something poetic, capturing that desperate ache to escape a life that feels too small. And Summer Strike, a soft-spoken gem that resonated with anyone who's ever wanted to hit pause, leave the noise behind, and just breathe. But don't get it twisted. 2022 wasn't all introspection and emotional healing. This year knew how to turn up the adrenaline, too. All of Us Are Dead had us screaming, "Just close the door," at our screens, making zombies scary again with a high school twist that was surprisingly emotional. Weak Hero Class 1 arrived as an underdog and delivered some of the most intense, grounded fight scenes we've seen in a school drama. Gritty, powerful, and unforgettable. Alchemy of Souls spun a whole new fantasy universe out of thin air, complete with soul-shifting magic, secret identities, and a romance that had us clinging to every episode. And that's just the beginning. 2022 gave us Money Heist, Korea, a high-stakes international remake with a distinctly Korean twist, and Under the Queen's Umbrella, which made palace politics gripping again, this time through the sharp, protective eyes of a queen. Little Women delivered a stunning blend of suspense, sisterhood, and social commentary, led by Kim Go-eun's powerhouse performance. Then came the hard-hitting legal dramas and dark thrillers, Juvenile Justice, Military Prosecutor Doberman, Big Mouth, and Anna, each one proving that K-dramas can go toe-to-toe with the best global releases. From historical to zombie, from legal dramas to noir thrillers, this was a year with no shortage of variety. But if there's one drama that truly captured the heart of 2022, it has to be Extraordinary Attorney Woo.
모두 진술에 앞서 양해 말씀드립니다. 저는 자폐 스펙트럼 장애를 가지고 있어 여러분이 보시기에 말이 어눌하고 행동이 어색할 수 있습니다.
What seemed at first like a modest legal drama quickly grew into one of the year's most talked about, beloved, and globally celebrated series. At the center of it all was Park Yoon-bin's unforgettable performance as Woo Young-woo, an autistic attorney with a photographic memory, a deep love for whales, and an earnest desire to find her place in the world. What made Extraordinary Attorney Woo so special wasn't just its consistently high ratings, or the fact that it earned Korea its first ever International Emmy Award. It was how the show started conversations about neurodiversity, workplace inclusion, family, and love, in ways that felt authentic and grounded, not preachy or performative. It was the heart of 2022's K-drama lineup, and a powerful reminder that sometimes the quietest stories leave the loudest impact. Bold, emotional, and endlessly bingeable, 2022 was the year K-dramas proved once again why they're dominating global streaming platforms like Netflix and Disney+. It embraced both its roots and its future, giving us comforting tropes with a modern twist, while also breaking new ground in storytelling, diversity, and genre. If you're wondering when K-dramas truly hit their stride, 2022 makes a strong case. And if you still need more proof that 2022 was peak K-drama, just look at the lineup. Tomorrow, Reborn Rich, Ghost Doctor, Goss Electronics, The Sound of Magic, Big Mouth, Shooting Stars, The Law Cafe, and Worry the Virgin. Whether you were into healing dramas, office chaos, magical realism, or legal rom-coms, 2022 delivered something for every kind of fan. So, what do you think? What's the real peak K-drama year? Or maybe you think we missed the mark completely, and the best year is something else entirely? Let us know and prove it to us in the comments. We're ready to hear your take. And while you're here, click on this next video to see which of these 100 actors helped make these years unforgettable.